In the heart of the bustling city, where skyscrapers reached for the heavens and the streets were filled with both ambition and despair, there was a real estate firm that had become a staple of success. The company, Stellar Properties, had dominated the market for over a decade, closing multimillion-dollar deals and becoming a name synonymous with luxury. At the helm of this empire was a woman whose rise to the top had been nothing short of extraordinary. Her name was Maya Williams, and she had built the company from the ground up. Maya was not just a businesswoman, she was a symbol of resilience. A black woman in an industry largely dominated by men, especially in the upper echelons of power. She had faced countless challenges, from discrimination to the glass ceiling that seemed to follow her every move. But she had fought hard, navigating the cutthroat world of real estate with grace, intellect, and an iron will. Under her leadership, Stellar Properties had become one of the most respected firms in the industry. But behind the polished boardrooms and the glowing success stories, things were not as perfect as they seemed. The company had grown too fast, too big, and with that growth came the rot of complacency. Maya had been so focused on expanding her empire that she had missed the cracks in the foundation: the toxic office culture, the disloyal employees, the greed and betrayal that had quietly seeped into the fabric of the company. She had begun to notice the subtle changes: the lack of enthusiasm, the missed deadlines, and the whispers in the hallways about her leadership style. It was on a rainy Tuesday morning that Maya decided enough was enough. She had received an anonymous tip-off that the company she had built was slowly falling apart. But instead of confronting the problem head-on, she had a different idea, a plan that would send shockwaves through the entire industry. Maya would go incognito. For one entire day, she would leave behind her title as CEO and slip into the role of an ordinary employee. No one at Stellar Properties would know who she was. She would become just another face in the crowd. The plan was daring, but Maya had never shied away from a challenge. She called up her assistant and told her to clear her schedule for the day. She pulled out an old black wig, a pair of oversized glasses, and a simple business suit. Nothing flashy, nothing to give away her identity. Maya looked like anyone who might walk into the office, an anonymous worker trying to make a living in a world that often overlooked people like her. When she arrived at the office, she took a deep breath and walked through the front door as if she was just another new hire. The receptionist barely looked up from her phone, the other employees too busy with their own tasks to give her a second glance. Maya's heart raced, but she kept her composure, walking past the cubicles and into the open-plan office that had once been a symbol of her success. It didn't take long for her to start noticing the issues that had been plaguing her company. People were gossiping. In one corner, a group of agents was huddled together, laughing at a private joke. Maya overheard them complaining about the recent changes in management and how they felt the company was becoming too corporate. They talked about how the leadership had become disconnected from the ground-level employees. They were disgruntled, unmotivated, and, worst of all, disloyal. As Maya continued to observe, she couldn't help but feel a sinking feeling in her stomach. The company she had built was being undermined from the inside. The passion that had once driven Stellar Properties was now a distant memory, replaced by apathy and self-interest. There were employees who were more focused on climbing the corporate ladder than serving clients, and others who were stealing company time for personal gain. Maya couldn't believe how much had changed since she had started the company. But the final straw came when she saw one of her senior executives, Tom, taking an extended break in the lobby. He was supposed to be in a meeting, but instead, he was lounging on the couch, chatting with a friend. Maya couldn't believe her eyes. Tom had been with the company for years, and now he was treating it like his personal playground. It was a clear indication of how the corporate culture had shifted from excellence to mediocrity. Maya's blood boiled. She had given everything for this company, and yet the people she trusted to uphold its values were undermining it. She couldn't let this go on any longer. The next morning, when the staff arrived for work, they were greeted with an unusual sight. The conference room was filled with all of the company's employees, from the lowest-ranking assistants to the highest-level executives. They were all sitting in silence, waiting for the announcement that they had no idea was coming. Maya walked into the room, her presence commanding attention. There's no disguise now, no wig, no glasses, just Maya Williams, the CEO of Stellar Properties. The room fell silent as she stood at the front, her gaze sweeping across the room. "I've been watching you," she said, her voice calm but steely. "For the past 24 hours, I've been one of you. I've seen how you behave when you think no one is watching. I've seen the gossip, the laziness, the lack of accountability. And I've seen the people who have been working hard to keep this company alive." She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. Then, with a cold precision, she continued, "Effective immediately, I am terminating the contracts of those who have undermined this company from the lowest ranks to the highest. If you have been part of this toxic culture, I suggest you pack your things. Your services are no longer needed." The room erupted into chaos. Some employees were stunned, others angry. A few had the audacity to protest, but Maya remained calm, unwavering. She had given them every opportunity to prove their loyalty, and now it was time for the reckoning. By the end of the day, half of the staff had been let go. The news spread like wildfire across the real estate community, and soon, the media was covering the shocking turn of events. People were baffled at Maya's decision. How could she fire her entire staff, a group of people who had helped build her company? But Maya knew what she was doing. She had made her decision not out of anger, but out of necessity. She was taking back control of her company, ensuring that it remained true to the values that had made it great. The aftermath of the firing was swift. The real estate world was buzzing with speculation. Was this a bold move by a visionary leader, or had Maya gone too far? The media painted her as a ruthless CEO, but for those who knew her well, it was clear that Maya was simply doing what needed to be done. She was restoring order to a company that had lost its way, ensuring that Stellar Properties would continue to shine bright in the years to come.